We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. There are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobuni wave was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see the rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is sign of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh, yeah. People of Biafra. See light shining on the world. Oh, yeah.
What's that, Martin? We're not fighting each other. We know where we're going. We're going to get Biafra. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I need them to understand this. We've crossed the Rubicon, the point of no return. There is nothing anybody can do. If I'm alive, if I'm dead, if I'm wherever I may be, Biafra will come. If I'm dead, it's even better because it will come far more quicker. I can assure you. If Biafra is fighting for you, no one will touch your property. If you're fighting alone, you're bound to lose it. So Biafra is the best. We will become the 16th member country of ECOWAS. If Nigeria doesn't release those properties, then we'll take them to court and we'll get them back. even twice the value. The Jews had investments all over the world. Most of the priceless artifacts and paintings belonged to many families in Germany. It was stolen by the Nazi Party. Do you know that? Eventually they got everything back with compensation on top of it. That's what we're going to do. If you touch our investments, we'll come back for you. And we'll know where we can get it from. So there is nothing for anyone to worry about. It's only if I'm not stopping you from being a Nigerian, if you are born on the streets of Lagos and you want to be a Lagosian and your name is Adama, oh, well and good. There's no problem.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program. I appreciate everyone that has connected wherever you're connecting from. Like and share the program. Share to family and friends, share to your neighbors. I'm not going to take much of your time. As you know, in our evening section, we come and we revisit what we did in the morning. I appreciate everyone that I can see my beloved sister, Macy Akere. Thank you so much, my sister Macy. You are always there with me, morning, afternoon, evening. You are always there. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being there. Thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you for paying attention. It is something that we are doing for ourselves. It is our battle and we must win it. No matter the attacks, no matter the propaganda, blackmail, we must win it. So we come to revisit, today we've been speaking about the involvement of the British in what is happening to Nigeria and to the Biafran people more especially. And we are still on that topic, and we're going to touch it a little bit before we now go to their media to show the calamity that has befallen Nigeria. There is no way you can talk about the situation effectively without showing it from their media. If you don't bring the information from their media and show, people will think we are just making up stories, or we are fomenting trouble, or we are instigating people. There is nothing like instigating people here. Nobody's instigating anybody. But all we are saying is that a lot is going on in Nigeria, and we always look at the root of the problem. When you look at the topic I wrote there, it says how colonial politics created ethnic hatred in Nigeria and fueled the Biafra agitation. The ethnic hatred you have in Nigeria has its origin from the colonial masters, the British. The ethnic hatred you see has its origin from the British. Because we have an evidence, confession by a British man, that the British refused to give the Biafran people, the people from the southern region, the Biafrans and the British refused to give them power. They refused to hand Nigeria over to them because they do not trust them. They believe that they can challenge their authority. They believe that they can take their freedom and run with it. And because of that, the British refuse to work with the southern part of Nigeria, even though they know that the southern part of Nigeria is the educated part of Nigeria. The British themselves, from their own word, they confessed about the formidability of people from the south. They spoke about the resilience of the Biafrans, the knowledge and wisdom of the Biafrans, the hard work of Biafran, the education of the Biafran people. That they are educated, they are resilient. They confess it. But why did they refuse to hand them over power to run what they created as a country, even though it wasn't a country? The only reason they refused to hand over power to those who are going to do something meaningful is because Nigeria was not meant to survive. The British still see Nigeria as their property. Remember, Queen Elizabeth bought Nigeria from Niger Royal Company. They still see Nigeria as their property. That is why even when they were leaving, telling you they are giving you independence, they handed you over to another slave to continue to manipulate you. So every single thing you are seeing happening in Nigeria today has its origin from the British. That is why, with the insecurity that is happening, with the loss of life that is happening, they will say anything. During the Biafran War, they sided Nigeria fully. Even people in their land were protesting and contesting it, telling British that they were committing genocide. Yet, the British sponsored genocide against the Biafran people. They stood with Nigeria. In fact, the civil war was fought between the Biafrans and the British. The British couldn't even do it alone. They went and involved Russians, involved France. They all came together and they made sure they stopped our independence. Their main target was to wipe us out, but they could not succeed. Up to this day, the British is still fighting the Biafrans in the proxy war. Today, they are fighting indirectly, using the Fulanis. They are still trying by all means necessary to conquer Nigeria. That is why in the midst of the insecurity in Nigeria, you can never hear the British issue any statement. I give you example of Russia. Look at Russia. They did not colonize Burkina Faso. Only that Burkina Faso entered into a contract with Russia. Whenever there is a problem in Burkina, you see Russian soldiers will be deployed. Russian soldiers will deploy to fight alongside with Burkina base and make sure that they deal with the threat. But in Nigeria, where the British are milking their own company, their own property, is being ravaged by the terrorists, and they do nothing. They don't issue a statement. Even when a foreign country comes to intervene, they go to manipulate and quell it. The reason Trump has not taken action up to this moment, still delaying, has everything to do with the British. It has everything to do with the British. whenever you ignore the role they are playing in what is happening in Nigeria, you are not telling yourself the truth. But we need to call them out at the same time. Make sure we focus on the people they are using, the instruments they have foot soldiers they are using to perpetrate their evil. Fulani has become a willing tool right from time, even during the time of independence. While Dr. Nnamdi, Enahoro, and other people were going for independence, the Fulani said they are not ready to be free. While they were pursuing that independence, the Fulani said no, that they prefer to remain under the British. But the funny thing is that when they finally decide to give the so-called independence, they handed Nigeria over to the Fulani. So when you see a Fulani man claiming that Nigeria is there, contesting this is a waste of time. When you see a Fulani man fighting to take over Nigeria, it was handed over to them. Because even their brother, Ahmadu Bello, made a speech. After the independent, Ahmadu Bello made a speech and he said that Nigeria will definitely be, that Nigeria is the estate of their father, Ottoman Danfodio. And they should never allow it to fall into any other hand. This speech was made in Nigeria few months after the independence. They declared that Nigeria is the estate of their father, Ottoman Danfodio. And he gave charge to his people that they should never, ever allow Nigeria to fall into the hand of any other man. So when you see Gumi supporting the terrorists, you see the National Security Advisor, Ribad, supporting the terrorists, you see Sheikh Husani supporting terrorists, you see Atiku Abubakar silent about terrorists. When you see these Fulani people not focusing on the terror, they know what they are doing. The Islamization of Nigeria is just another ploy to cover up the Fulanization of Nigeria. They use that Islamization to win more sympathy and win more support to capture Nigeria. That is why they push forward their religion. You know, with the religion, you can't ask too many questions. And they have used it to convince so many people for many years. The Hausas we are carrying along. Hausas joined them to decimate the Igbos because they were meant to believe that it was for their interests. The agenda they preached to Hausas was Islamization. But at the end of the day, the Hausas have realized that it is about Fulanization of Nigeria. This was what the British created, the seed they planted. And they are not repenting nor shying away. You remember when King Charles visited Nigeria? He went to the northern part of Nigeria. That was where he went. And in that northern part of Nigeria, go and watch their city, how they sat and took pictures of the traditional people. The way they sit on that place speaks volume. King Charles and the Sultan of Sokoto in front with other traditional rulers at their back. Pictures have meaning. When we see those pictures, we read meaning into them. A lot is happening and more is going to happen. Except you prepare yourself, you are going to fall victim. I pity those of you from the old southeastern region, those of you from the southern part of Nigeria that is joining the terrorists. You are joining the enemy to fight against the restoration of Biafra. and you think Biafra is for the Igbos. It is not for the Igbos. Each time you see us shouting the restoration of Biafra is the restoration of humanity in Nigeria, to save humanity. That is what it's all about. It is to save humanity. We are doing our best to make sure that humanity is saved. That's what it's all about, nothing else. But they have deceived you and preached to you that when an Igbo man is talking about Biafra, it is about himself. They deceive you that talking about Biafra is about the resources. And one thing they didn't tell you is that every state has resources that can keep them. Every state in Nigeria has enough resources to keep them. So resources is not the reason. Every state in Nigeria has enough resources to sustain them. The only thing is that they don't want you to exercise that freedom. The British do not want you to exercise that freedom. That is why they are using their stooge, their willing tool, the Fulani, to execute their evil in Nigeria. Some idiots are not paying attention and they think that vote can change. Your election or vote can never, ever change anything in Nigeria. What the election is meant to do is to enslave you the more, to put the stamp. Anytime you conduct election, you are putting the stamp of British on your head. You are tightening the chain in your hand. To pull and you vote for election, you tighten the chain in your hand. That is what it means. Because no human being born by a man will change Nigeria. The worst thing that can happen to the Igbos is to lay their hand on Nigeria presidency. Once they do that, the Igbo land is gone completely. Anytime they allow an Igbo man to become the president of Nigeria, the Igbo land is gone. That is the condition. So if you care about your life, don't you ever pray. One of your prayers should be that Peter Obi should go exile. This is a man who cannot even stand for himself, let alone standing for you. Peter Obi could not stand for himself. And you think he will stand for you? In the last election, people gave him a mandate and he couldn't defend it. And when the people were decimated, their property destroyed, he did not do anything. When the people want to react, he didn't. He's coming back again. And threat is coming from right, left, and center. They are already threatening. Entire nation is being threatened. And you think it's ordinary. You think it's a joke. No problem. There's no problem. Keep on joking. I must see also and go mine. What is coming is heavy. And I bet you cannot stand what is coming. What is coming ahead is heavy. You will not survive what is. Look at what is happening in Oyo State. The school teachers who were abducted, one of them has been beheaded. And they showed the video and continue to demand for ransom. What does the governor do? The governor is helpless and he's begging the terrorists that we have had you. The president is doing nothing. A Yoruba man, his people are under siege. They have taken Kwara. They entered into Oyo and they are taking Oyo. There is no fighting back. And you ask, where is the Omoteku that they created? Where is the Omoteku that they created? That is to show you that all those things are deception. And this was what we saw and we created the ESN. When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu created the ESN, Biafra land was a no-go area. They destroyed the ESN and Mazen Samuel created the Liberation Army. Biafra land was a no-go area. But today, they use the same people we are trying to protect. They were used to destroy their own defense. And I bet you what is coming, you will not survive it. This rain that we fall, all your macho no opponent, all your more everybody, this rain that is trying to fall, it will come to an extent that you begin to pray for Mazi Simon Ekpa to come. No problem. We are watching. You will wish that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out. In a very difficult and terrible time, some people still have time to blackmail their brothers and sisters. The evil seed of the British is what is holding Nigeria the way it is today. Except that Nigeria is de-amalgamated. If Nigeria is not de-amalgamated, there will be no peace. There will be no success. There will be no security. If you see a way to jackpot to save your life, please do so. The situation is terrible. So many of us that have families there, we are always scared. Every minute, once your phone rings, you are scared of picking it. You don't know whether if somebody is calling you for ransom. Anytime your phone rings and you see Nigerian number, the first thing that will come to your mind is bad news. Only when after the greeting and there's no bad news, you make the sign of cross. You thank God. For how long are we going to be living in fear? How long are we going to be living it? The only solution is to end this contraption. And when we say it with evidence, powerful evidence on the table. We present it and show it to the world. Just when you think that all is finished, the terrorists are stepping up their game. The terrorism is increasing. And as always, we will go to their news to show you what is happening in their news, for you to see for yourself. We are going to their news. We go to their news so that you will see and hear for yourself what the situation is in the zoological republic called Nigeria. So that it won't be as if we are here talking or as if we are making up stories. Because evidence is key. If we don't provide this evidence, some will think that, they are making up stories. That is why it is necessary that we present evidence. Evidence that is available before you to see. So I want you to listen to the informations, the update that is coming from their own media. Listen and hear what the situation is in the Zoological Republic.
Teachers kidnapped from the community high school in Oyo State has been killed. Michael Oyedokun was beheaded in a video released by bandits on Sunday. The viral video has raised fresh concerns over the safety of the remaining victims. Governor Sheyi Makinde's spokesman.
Did you hear that? The people they kidnapped, the teacher has been beheaded in Nigeria, and there is no outrage. People are still in captivity there. They are still holding some people, and they are demanding for ransom in a country.
Confirmed the killing and extended condolences to the victim's family. He says about 6 suspects related to the kidnapping have been arrested. The governor also sympathized with families of security personnel who lost their lives in the rescue operation. The operatives ran into improvised explosive devices planted by the abductors. The wounded security personnel are responding positively to treatment. The government says 7 teachers in total were abducted, and he confirms that one of them, a mathematics teacher, was killed by the terrorists. He appealed to victims' relatives to be patient. He says there may not be quick fixes, but the government will push itself to the limit to resolve the situation quickly. Well, for a discussion on our word regarding the latest abductions in Oyo and Borno State, while also considering whether state police can curb the rising spate of kidnappings and killings, we have retired FCT Commissioner of Police, Lawrence Alobi, joining us now. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us here on Newsday.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
What an awful set of circumstances. I feel like every week we're here discussing some new tragedy in the corner of our country. This time it involves a beheading. It seems more of an escalation in violence. What do you make of this new violence and the security response in Oyo State?
Yeah, thank you very much. Security is an issue of great concern, not only on your state, but the entire country. Insecurity challenges confronting Nigeria today is very, very disturbing and very embarrassing. And every Nigerian, true Nigerian patriotic Nigerian should be concerned. There are so many factors, different factors that instigate all these insecurity, kidnapping, beheading, terrorism, and so forth. And those factors are very clear. They are known to the government, known to everybody. But the point is, how are we going to develop the political will to address these problems? Problems of poverty, problems of employment, problems of religious bigotry, problems of ethnicity, problems of uninformed politicians who think money and power is the ultimate purpose of life. They think that power is all to steal and to loot and to oppress people. It's unfortunate Nigeria has gone to this level. And I think like Section 14 of the Constitution provides the prime purpose of government, the security and welfare of the citizens. And every governor, every state, Mr. President, all governors in government have sworn the oath of office to defend and uphold the Constitution. If they dare to uphold the Constitution, defend the Constitution, they ensure that security of their states, of their local government, their state is granted, and law-abiding citizens are being protected, laws being maintained, and they should not treat the life and property of innocent citizens. So the government should be concerned. In fact, should be concerned. And if the governor is in a state and the government is there, if the government is not able to protect the citizens, then I begin to wonder why that government should see itself as doing well. It should examine themselves and reflect and know whether they are doing well. It should reflect on whether you are performing well or not performing well. I think it is very disturbing. It's a threat to the country. Today, Nigeria, life is no longer sacred. People kill and behead and kill for different reasons without minding that life is to be taken. Even the scripture says, "Thou shalt not kill." But now in Nigeria today, killing become like a child's play, that they do it like for fun. They take pleasure in killing, beheading, attacking people, removing people, raiding people homeless. So I think the government and people of Nigeria should rise and say no to insecurity.
Very well said, Mr. Alobi.
Why we have this challenge?
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we've certainly heard you loud and clear, and indeed what happened should be condemned. But apart from condemnation, I'm wondering what incidents like this reveal about Nigeria's current security architecture, and what immediate urgent reforms, do we need to put in place to tackle incidents like this, because we cannot keep having this discussion over and over and over and over again, and it seems like nothing is being done.
You say because the primary purpose of the Nigerian Police Force Maintenance Law under Section 4 of the Police Act, the police is the third group of internal security of this country. If the third group of a tree is destroyed, of course, invariably the tree itself, the other roots cannot sustain the tree. Since they have deliberately destroyed the police is underfunded, under-equipped, the welfare is not to right from above, they don't have equipment. Today, policing and security is theoretically driven. in knowledge base, they're not being trained, no funding, they're not being equipped. So in that case, what do you expect? That's what the Nigeria is the country. Nigeria is the one that have caused what is happening to them. It's a self-inflicted problem. Because the police is supposed to be capable of internal security. They have been so neglected. It's so reduced to the background. Till they're creating, proliferating other agencies, and knowing that policing is purely it's an indiscriminate institution in any country. No country can do that in police. But Nigeria, it appears they don't care about the police. But I'm happy one statement Mr. President made during the police day. That was what I was ordered by the Vice President. He said, equipping the police and enforcing the police should not be seen as an act of charity, but an obligation of the federal government. I was so happy when I heard Mr. President make that statement, and I pray Mr. President should live by his word. Let's not walk his talk. Policing is not just trying to provide the men there. Manpower is we're growing inadequate. We don't have equipment. We're not motivated. We're underfunded. We're under-equipped. Our institutions are under-equipped. We don't have some. Today, police commission don't have staff cars. When I was a DPO, I had a staff car as a DPO. Commissioner of police buy their cars, which is very, very bad. Very embarrassing. Today, police workshop are not really functional. In those days, police have very effective functional workshop. They can repair police vehicles. They have a designated fuel station where you can go and take fuel. Also, they don't exist any longer.
Well, those were the days, certainly, Dr. Alobi. Just for the sake of time, I want to talk about the safe haven of some of these non-state actors. We do know that they run back into the bushes, run back into the forest. Those are their safe havens, and they have an entire ecosystem out there. How challenging is forest surveillance in the Southwest? What can be done to survey the Southwest better? Why do our natural reserves continually serve as safe havens for these syndicates that continue to wreak havoc on our nation? Very briefly.
You say, like I said, policing in the 21st century is historically driven. What said the government from procuring drones, airline patrol, area patrol to monitor from the air, and when they see or observe anything, they inform the policemen or the other securities on the ground who will now take action. They can flush them out. They don't want to have any termination, but they require manpower, require equipment and training. They can flush them out. There's no way any terrorist gang can overcome the government of a country. There's no way. So the government is not serious. The government has the political will. We must put a stop to all this. It's embarrassing. So, and the citizens also have a role. Section 24 in the Constitution provides that every Nigerian citizen has a community to assist in maintain level and order. But in Nigeria today, most people are concerned with our right, human right. They're not concerned about the obligations. When there's an obligation, there's a corresponding obligation. By the citizen, what are you doing? What service are you to your country? In terms of information, in terms of supporting the police with the equipment. What are we doing? What are they talking about? Right. You see, and the citizens are the prime beneficiary of a secure and police society. So therefore, they're obligated to assist the police, empower the police, and help the police to do the police perform better for them to benefit optimally. But some people say police, but they don't like police. Police, and also, you see, historically, why the public don't trust the police? Not because the police, it is a system. Why colonialism that brought in the colonial master that elected the police from the public. They have repressive approach to policing, and the military will decrease the chronic laws that were very oppressive. They're not democratic. But now, in a democracy, we should have that laws should be anchored, police should be anchored on the principle of democratic policing. Human rights, and the police should be well equipped. If you're not equipped, please.
Very well said, Mr. Lawrence Alobi, retired Assistant Commissioner of Police. We thank you so much for your contribution to this discussion, and we do hope, that indeed all your recommendations are listened to and acted upon so that we can have less.
That is the zoological republic for you. very good in complaining. Every time it is one complaint or the other, and the situation remains the same. And sometimes the most painful thing is that sometimes they end up blaming the citizens. Just like this man you saw now, making unnecessary excuses. You cry and shout and shout. The major issue is that the government of Nigeria is a terrorist government. Just like I said before, that was my program when I said that what the British gave to Nigeria is a police force to enslave and subdue, not to protect. What the British created was a police force, and they left, and Nigeria continued to hold onto that police force. The only thing they know is how to intimidate, how to abuse, how to threaten. But when it comes to their actual duty to protect the citizens, they will never, ever protect the citizens. They don't care about you. They don't care how you feel. All they do is to intimidate you as much as they can. That is what the British gave to Nigeria. That is why when I talk about the involvement of the British in the suffering of Nigeria today, the role that the British played in what is happening in Nigeria today, when I talk about that role, I speak about it with every seriousness because they are fully involved. Everything that's happening today is the fruit of that they planted, is just yielding fruit. And when you listen to information, you see that man, almost what I was saying is what he said. That what the British gave them was a police force. The colonial structure is still there. And there is no plan to remove the colonial structure. Instead, they are embracing it and bringing it more because it favors the tyrants. It makes room for the fraudsters. It makes the fantastically corrupt people to continue to prosper. Until the British remove their hand from Nigeria, it will always be business as usual. Even the things will get worse. The situation will get worse. Let us listen to this very one and let's hear the reports that they have. But every single report you see here confirms everything we are seeing. The insecurity is expanding every single day. Let's hear them.
Scheduled time due to a few glitches there. But we're here now, and we are ready to serve you better. I am Moses Humphrey. Now, with insecurity on the rise in Nigeria and lots of other issues escalating, we'll be looking at this carefully again. This time around, you need to understand that we woke up yesterday to the news of students kidnapped in Colonial. This morning, or yesterday rather, stories about the beheading of the teacher all over social media. This is troubling with lots of concern in Nigeria. We're talking about insecurity. Increased U.S. military involvement could backfire. These are words of Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. And this is coming as joint military strikes kill 20 ISIS commanders. But this, of course, is our very first conversation this morning. And we'll go into it right away. But I'm definitely not done.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. Good to have you join us. Now let's dive straight into our major topic of discussion, which is what most discussed now. And we are looking at in a major escalation of counter-terrorism efforts, United States and Nigerian forces have carried out fresh airstrikes in Borno State, killing over 20 ISIS fighters in the Metele area days after a high-profile joint operation eliminated Abu Bilal al-Minuki, described as ISIS global second-in-command. But African and Nigerian defense headquarters confirmed the precision strikes targeted converged militants with no casualties, allied forces, underscoring deepening military cooperation between the two nations. Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and US President Donald Trump have hailed the successes
as significant blows to the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP, aiming to degrade the group's ability to plan attacks and finance operations across the Lake Chad region. However, prominent Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has strongly warned that increased U.S. military involvement could backfire by attracting more foreign terrorist groups into Nigeria, turning the country into a broader theater of international conflict. But this comes as insecurity rages nationwide. Fresh bandit attacks rocked Katsina communities amid public protests. Gunmen beheaded an abducted teacher in Oyo, while communities reported 39 students and 7 teachers still missing from recent school breaks. And the Senate urged governors to fully embrace the Safe School Initiative, which renewed calls for state police by the House of Representatives to tackle the crisis. Here we go again. But let's bring in our guests. We've been joined in the studio here in Lagos, so we're focusing from Prince Francis Prince Francis here at the University of Public Affairs. We also have beside him Mr. Elvis. Elimehele Elvis is also here at the University of Public Affairs Analyst. From our Oka outstation, we'll be joined by Sir Chika Wamba, who is a political affairs analyst. He's also joined us. And from our Benin outstation, we'll be joined by Alaji Ahmed Ebareke. He's a public affairs analyst. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your presence on our show. Please, let me come straight to good morning, Elvis. Please, let me come straight to the strike conducted on Saturday morning, Sunday morning in the Igbo took out the ICC second in command, Minuki, as is popularly known here. We had a discussion yesterday and we were considering how much impact that would have on the war on terror. Is it enough to take out the headship, the leadership of terror, while the foot soldiers are still running rampage in the country? What's your, let's have your broad overview to the recent development before we get into the specifics of it more.
Well, to any right thinking Nigeria, that diplomacy is a very complicated. When they say once the head is off, what becomes business. But not as much as we have celebrated it, joyous about it, there are questions that are begging for it. How many times do we kill one man? How many times? You remember Shekara, I think, yeah? He was killed several times before he was eventually finally killed. So why is it that our government applied to us earlier? Because you can't kill somebody twice. Looking at it, keep asking myself, every now and then it's airstrike. Look to the corpses. We don't see, we don't see the people. What we see is more like graphic.
Did you see the video of this operation, the latest operation? Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I said the point is, these guys are still causing the hair. Then it means that the airstrike is not building the result. Maybe it's now time for them to change tactics.
Okay.
Because every day we hear airstrike, people are killed, which are killed. But you saw what happened in Oyosi. It's getting closer home. Mr. Kanu, if you watch the video where the teacher was murdered, that's the best one. You know that the chicken is coming home.
It's coming home, actually.
And I've always said this, and I keep saying, when the Titanic was sinking, the people were having money. This one's happening in Nigeria.
Until everybody got it,
Our leaders are comfortable, they are happy wherever they are, enjoying themselves, talking about primaries. Nobody's talking about the life.
Well, I think they are talking about it. That's why we have all of these corporations. Now, talking about being killed again. Well, we understand that globally these things do happen. Like when they say they killed Baghdadi, in Iraq, it turned out that he wasn't killed by American forces. It was 4 years later that he was killed. But that doesn't. It's a good thing that government has admitted where he wasn't killed then, but now he's killed, especially with American involvement. Thank you very much. Let's bring Elvis into this conversation. Elvis, how much of this do you expect us to see in the future? Because after that strike, we also understand that there have been other strikes, subsequently that killed about 20 terrorists, within that enclave. Is it something you expect to see more? And how much of that, can help neutralize and, to reduce the lethal power of this terrorism? Because as it is now, it looks like they are everywhere. So how many more do you think? Are you expecting to see more?
Yeah, Mr. Koro, when we saw the Christmas Day missile attack, we have thought we will see more of that. So if you are asking me how many what do I we need to see, I would say let this operation sustain. Because when this matter started, 2009, then by 2013, we saw the Government Technical College boys Colonial in Yobe State. 45 students were murdered. Boys were murdered. Everybody was like, this must not continue. This must end. There must be a way to end this. Then graduated to what we now had in Igbo girls. 276 years old. Hair will let loose. Prince said the chicken is coming home to roast. But I'm saying the chicken has already arrived home. It's already roasted. Because what we were saying then, talking about then in Northeast, is already with us now in Oyo State. And what are we talking about? When that kickback happened, everybody, and this must not continue. The present president was in opposition, and there was no name he did not call the former president then, Lord Jonathan. To the extent that he said he should resign if he cannot protect Nigerians, and that the protection of Nigerians and Nigeria is a necessity and a demand in the constitution. It is not, you can't waive it. So they were calling on Jonathan himself and the then chairman of APC, who were BC Akonde, former governor for Osun State. There was no name they did not call Jonathan. Clueless, kindergarten, and all that. They were in opposition. Today, the people are sweet. They are not the one in government. And it's even worse. We are not talking about Northeast. We are talking about across the whole Northeast, Northwest, North Central, and even into Southwest. The Oyo is just paying. That's why I said the chicken has already come. Then he's sitting comfortably now in Asoro. It's not reminding himself what he told Jonathan in 2014 to resign. If he was a serious and responsible president, by now he would have made that.
The president said that no amount of pressure can stop him from running the election. That he's a stubborn politician. So you expect him to behave like Jonathan?
What does he mean by no amount of pressure? The pressure of Nigerians to actually know what we are made to be. That he was elected to and sworn to the constitution that one of his biggest responsibility of Nigerians is to protect us. Nigerians by now ought to have been on the streets.
As a matter of fact,
Aso Rock and occupy National Assembly.
As a matter of fact, the president thinks, that insecurity that is federal is all about him. He says, well, you cannot use insecurity to put pressure on him. That is the handwork of his enemies.
So we is accepting that when it was Jonathan's era, did he accept it that way? When he told Jonathan to resign? So does he now want Nigeria to believe in that like insecurity is pressure because they want you to go. Why did they ask Jonathan to go that time? So they have now read another meaning to it, another dummy being sold to Nigeria. Nigerians will not buy this dummy. Nigerians are saying, what is the offense of the teacher that was beheaded? Because he went to teach future leaders. Is it not? And what is the offense of the children that are in captivity? They want to become future leaders. Don't need the other way around. If their children were there, the National Assembly members, their children were there, or even the minister's children were there, so we will still be talking about debating about what the responsibility of the government is to this money. Nigerians must not allow this to fester any longer. This is the time, because the chicken has already come home for us.
All right, chicken has come home to roost. Well, let's take this conversation to our virtual guest now. We have Sachuka Wama. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Openness. We'd like to establish communication with you. All right. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I think what we are discussing is very important because it has to do with the security of lives and property in Nigeria. And Nigerian government, the present state, has failed to protect lives and property of Nigerians. And there is no game saying that the government is confused. Presently, the government is confused, and all they are focused on is 2027 general elections, and it is very unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Let me ask you this very, very big. I didn't watch that. I mean, I couldn't even bring myself to watch that. But let me ask you this: how important is U.S. intelligence cooperation with Nigeria and fight against insecurity? How important is that to us, going by what we've seen so far?
Well, I think the Nigerian army has played the claims of Donald Trump, saying that there was no any collaboration, there was no any interference of the U.S. military in the elimination of the second in command of IC in Nigeria, in the northern Nigeria. So, if the Nigerian army had to say that, to counter that, so I don't think I have anything to say about the veracity of the claim of the U.S. president. But the issue is this: the security of Nigeria and Nigerians has slipped away from the control of the Nigerian security architecture. I think they are all playing politics, and it is very unfortunate. They are all playing politics. What I can tell you is that all of them, including ESS, police, army,
well, I'm not
they are all on
Chika, I'm not privy to the counter to the narrative of U.S. intelligence, U.S. soldiers fight, in cooperation with Nigerian soldiers to take out Al-Bilal al-Minuki. Because when that information came out, we heard from Donald Trump on his Truth Social first, and then much later, President Tinubu, spoke about it. And we know that there are U.S. soldiers on Nigerian soil right there, giving intelligence to Nigerian soldiers. But what we were told is that there were no soldiers, no boots, no American boots on the ground. It was just strictly Nigerian boots on the ground to ensure that operation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let me say, it is unfortunate that when you make a write-up on social media, write-up that is critical of members of the airline, or write-ups that are critical of government, before you know what's happening, within 48 hours, police or DSS have come pick you anywhere you are. Doesn't take them any time, doesn't take them any logistics. Before you know what's happening, they have picked you. Then why are they not using the same time? Why are they not using the same method to go after these criminals, disturbing Nigeria? It's unfortunate. Yeah. And are the DSS and the police only focused on social media? They focus on social media because the whole of the threats are kinetic. They are not based on virtual communication. So why are they not going for these criminals? Why are they focused more on catching public affairs commentators? Why? So it is a question that we Nigerians should be asking all the time. It is now in Oyo State. So why are they not stopping the forest? But if you make post on Facebook in Oyo, they will come after you immediately. What kind of country are we living in? What kind of security people do we have? So I don't think they want Nigeria to survive. I'm not sure. Both the security, both the leaders, they are not focused on protecting lives and property. They are all focused on 2027 election and how to protect VIPs. And it is unfortunate. It is very bad. It has to stop. We have to tell them this, that they are not crying. They are not crying. This is not how to secure a society and people. It is unfortunate. What kind of security is this?
All right, thank you very much, Chika Wamba. Now let's have Ahmed American join the conversation. Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Well, he joins us from our Escalation studio. Now, talking about eliminating leaders, terror leaders, some will ask. The big question here is: does eliminating terror leaders weaken insurgencies significantly? Because we know they operate in cells. And usually, when one is taken out, another quickly replaces that one. And we've seen them break into other factions, other groups, and then expand. We have Lakurawa, we have Muja. All of these factions have largely emerged from the decimation of one faction. How does eliminating terrorist leaders, weaken their activities? Is there another action, another move that should be taken?
Thank you so much for the question. First and foremost, I want to say that the hypocrisy in the fight of this insecurity is of the highest level. And I want to thank Francis for the way he has commented on the issue. How many times are you going to claim you are killing leaders of these very insurgent groups? How many times you want to get report for just related with? And before you get to where the leader is in any of these security architecture, or even security architecture, for example, do you know how many of the subordinates that you are going to before you get to where the leaders are? But fortunately, from the stories we hear, were just eliminated the leader. What? The people that were in the defense of the leader, what happened to them? Nobody is saying stories.
Well, we understand that a few of them were killed in that operation. And we also were told that senior officers were also killed in that operation, those that were around at the time.
Okay. Well, let's assume that what yes is a fact. We should not also forget that those who claim to be peacemakers or the police world, they are one of the highest producers of weapons as far as this country is concerned. How contradicting that is. You are one of the highest weapon producing countries, and you are the one that is claiming you are the police of the world, ensuring for peace, as you are producing. Who are going to buy those weapons from you, and who are going to sell these things from you? And you shouldn't also forget that terrorism has become the most lucrative business in the world, to the bourgeois, to the biggest countries as the case may be, because they make more profit from all this weaponry and others. So all this fight against insurgencies, to me, is hypocritical. No, they are not fighting anything. Because if they choose to fight all this, they would have long eradicated all these things. When they went straight to Venezuela to go and pick a sitting president, how many hours did it take them to do that? And when they also went to other countries to go and destabilize, how many hours did it take them? But now, insurgencies, they came to Nigeria since last year up to now. We have not even prepared. I won't say there's progress. Well, I'm not seeing any progress. That it's getting worse. To tell you that they are not really after coming to fight this thing. It's still more profit making by all these people. So the idea of saying you are eliminating the leaders, you know where these people are, and you are refusing to do the needful. Who are you deceiving? And now they are contradicting reports and saying, okay, the Nigerian army are saying the United States are not part of it. The United States are saying they do this. Who do we not believe in this whole thing? So to be frank, I believe it's high time we let ourselves.
Okay. You don't seem to appreciate the fact that the United States is involved in the war on terror in Nigeria. Is that your position?
Not at all. That is my position. And from the one they came, I never believed that they are here for us. They are here for their personal business. And I still remain on that thing tomorrow. Because they are not here for us. If they are here for us, we would have not eradicated this. But are you telling me these people are more stronger than some countries' army? Are you telling me these insurgents, these people, that are faceless people, are more stronger than some countries' army? So the answer is no. If America is really here for Nigeria to actually help us to fight insecurity, honestly speaking, since December 25 till now, for more close to 5 good months, and you are telling me these people are worse stronger?
Okay, so between
they are here for their personal business.
Okay, they are here for your personal business. As far as that.
But their personal business to have a base in Nigeria, to have a base to operate. Yeah.
You see, when idiots are talking, you will know. When Alahaji, idiot, is talking, you will know. You see how he's speaking, blabbing, as if he knows what he's saying. These are a bunch of idiots. You are now blaming United States for intervening. But your own brother, Tinubu, is doing nothing. That one no concern you. Even when the United States wanted to take action, you are protesting. Your people were protesting against US taking action. Nigeria, we are singing. You were part of those online talking about sovereign nation, sovereignty. Now they have left your sovereignty for you. They have left your sovereignty for you. Now you are now blaming them. Why did they come and take action the way they took it for this one? For you. Why did they come and do it? You are the one that is parading yourself anyway, that they should do Alhaji. These are a bunch of idiots. You think that the US will come and sacrifice themselves for you? Do you deserve it? You don't deserve it. A shithole country like you, disgraced country, you don't deserve it. Instead of you now holding your own government accountable, you are blaming the United States. They have come to do so. What have your government done on their own to stop this insurgency? Which instrument don't they have? What kind of equipment is it that they're looking for they don't have? Which equipment that Boko Haram can buy that the Nigerian government cannot buy? All they know how is to steal and thief money. And you are here talking rubbish, United States, blaming US for even intervening. I have said it, the United States is wasting their time. Disintegrate Nigeria and the problem will end. We don't do, your presence is not even needed. You don't need to airstrike anything. You don't need to bring your soldiers on the ground. Don't strike anything. Go for disintegration of Nigeria. Dismantle it. Let everybody protect themselves. We can. Every region can defend themselves. Go away from this blame because they will continue to blame you and it will never get better. The same people that will tell you that they are sovereign nation, don't come and fight, that will come and protest. When you strike, the same people will come and make propaganda. And I bet you if the United States continue to work with Nigeria on this path they are going, the United States will face disgrace. There is no country that partner with Nigeria that doesn't go home with disgrace. No country in the world that partner with Nigeria that doesn't go home with disgrace. I just hope that Donald Trump will ignore these people and do what he has to do. Look at this clown talking. Channel your blame to your government, the Zoological Republic government. Channel your blame to them and ask them what have they done since they protested of their sovereignty. What have they done? Even when United States have sent the troops to come and help and train them, what have they done? They didn't come and tell. That should be where you channel your energy, but you will not. Bunch of idiots.
To operate within West Africa.
All right. America has been here.
America
has been here for just 5 months, and they've been able to kill ISIS's second in command that the Nigerian government killed in 2024. Now we understand.
I was even to hear again.
Can I land with my question, please? Let me land with my question.
Continue, sir.
So America has been here for just 5 months, and they've done something, that Nigerian government couldn't do. They did one in 2024, only for us to understand now that, it was hoax. The Nigerian military, since 2009, has not been able to rout out insurgents.
Yes. US come and do it in 2 minutes.
2009 to this moment is about how many years? And so, between the Nigerian military and the American military, who should take the knock for not fighting insecurity?
Ask him.
It is the Nigerian army that needed to take the knock. But for you to have told me that, yes, I am a professional. For example, a company is not doing well, and you went as far as to another company to go and bring in a professional to come and,
and the professional will do magic immediately.
Definitely within 5 months, supposed to have started seeing progress. But in this case, you claim to be not just a professional, the world acclaimed police. And at the end of the day, you are here for 5 good months, and you are way back.
These are pained idiot, Alahaji. Alahaji. When you hear that Alahaji, you know his mindset.
What do you think that is getting worse? So do you think that it is anti-American sentiment that is pushing?
Like him.
Probably because
exactly. He himself is an anti-American.
Terrorists are not happy that America is here to fight them.
Plus him himself.
Not that. That is not the reason. That is not the reason. They have been operating. They have been operating. We have expected that, okay, for example, in a house where there are so many rats, and you bring in a cat, what do you expect to see in that house? Definitely, there are going to be a reduction of those rats in the house. But so far, so good, we have brought in a big cat, and yeah, the rats are getting stronger. We don't have to go, but we have said that kind of thing. Quite all right. The rats are not getting stronger. So to me, the Americans should tell us the real purpose why they are here. Until they tell us the real purpose why they are here, I don't believe they are fighting. But if they are fighting for this insurgent ought to be weak. So we are seeing that other neighboring countries are bringing an alarm that yes, they are not afraid.
You are speaking like an Alahaji. We know them, anti-Americans.
But we are not Cameroon complaining that had on the complain that these people are running to their country, but they are still right here in this whole country. However, let's call it spade a spade.
All right, should we call it a spade a spade? Let's bring the conversation back.
So it's the US that is holding them in Nigeria.
Talking about in the December 2025 bomb, right after that, we saw how these insurgents were dispatched. Some of them ran into Oyo State, some of them were arrested. Right, a few of them were arrested in their numbers actually, and the report was that they were running. They were running away because they were basically scattered around. But then, who should be hold responsible for what happened to those that were arrested? If we have a government that would de-radicalize and reintegrate into society,
you don't see that one. They blame America.
Beheaded, amputated people, slaughtered children, and who should be responsible? The American government, the American military that is here, or the Nigerian soldiers, or the Nigerian government as it were.
Moses, you're asking who should help. It's Nigerian government. Why do I say that? It's not an American word. It's a Nigerian word. America only came, of course. And as we sit here between us, and the federal government have openly told Nigerians the level of participation, the level of help, and they still get it from the Americans. They have not said it.
Oh.
I remember the December date, so it was called, Christmas date. We looked at everything just went quiet. And I remember here, we kept asking, why are the Americans in Nigeria? Why were they invited? For me, I don't have a problem with all this testing. But I have a problem with aftermath of testing. Okay? When you carry out an airstrike, obviously, Some of them will disperse. Why is it that there are no foot soldiers on the ground to take out those who are not yet? So what we do is we disperse them here during one bomb missile, and then they scatter and group. So when they regroup, what do you expect them to do? They become more hardened. They have lots of visions.
We have a situation where Sheikh Gumi, one who has, who you can call a sympathizer of these Boko Haram and the rest of them, has come out to say American government is after our resources. But some Nigerians would say that the terrorists themselves have been taking advantage of our resources. So who should we align with? I mean, if you have one who's there to help you decimate their numbers and maybe get some results.
I think Sheikh Gumi already has a problem with the American government. Well, but the one he has a problem.
What would you say his problem is?
Well, I think the problem is he feels that the American military, if allowed with it, will not be showing the kind of sympathy that the Nigerian military is showing. I mean, I keep saying, I don't understand what drives policy of government to say somebody who has gone out to kill people, kill people, destroy people from their ancestral homes, send millions into ID camps. You get them arrested, you wash them white, and you throw them back into the system. I don't understand that. I don't understand. Now, let us take what has happened in your state. We want to tell you now that if I'm a family member of the teacher has been beheaded, and I get to see one of those people around and you say it as the person has repented, think I want the person to go scot-free. See, what is happening in South Africa, I keep saying, what is happening in South Africa is today, because the South Africans that the generation of South Africans we know today grew up knowing one thing, violence. We are gradually building a generation of Nigerians that will know nothing else, violence.
The Prince, talking about Sheikh Ahmad, and I think his position is a bit contrary to what you have said. That well, you think that if Americans come here, that they will not show the kind of sympathy that Nigerian military is showing, correct? But Ahmad Gumi thinks that American involvement here will actually spike the level of terrorism, and that is what you think. Okay, so say, on the 25th, in fact, before the airstrike in Sokoto State, say, if from as much as touches one of those terrorists, the Christian community is going to be worse off. It's going to maybe cause some kind of sectarian violence between Muslims and Christians. And maybe the Christian community has not reacted, but we see a surge in the level of insecurity, terrorism. After that incident, it things that American involvement backfire. Is that what we are seeing now?
You said, Sheikh Gumi, for me, should have been arrested a long time ago. You don't need a man who keeps encouraging, who keeps motivating people who are carrying out evil. And you think the man is being reasonable? You think he's being sensible? No, he's not. The way Sheikh Gumi is talking, he's a moon in disguise. He's making them feel like they're alive. It's like, in Igbo powers, you say, if a father sends a son to go and steal from somebody's house, when he gets there, he uses his leg to break the door. Because he has
the backing of his father. Okay.
And that's what is happening.
That is what is happening.
Because Gumi shouldn't be talked in. I don't understand how he has not been arrested. If we sit here and say half of what Gumi has said, we will not leave this place.
We will not leave this place. All right, please Elvis. Sorry, Mr. Elvis.
He's a first-class citizen. He's a Fulani, and the country belongs to them. That is why he will not be arrested.
What Gumi said, embodies this guy. Now, between Sheikh Gumi, who said something that
That Alhaji should answer the question.
And our own government.
Gumi action doesn't stop that Alhaji.
Our brothers.
He's talking to
They
Americans.
are the prodigal sons.
Yes.
I mean, we need to use like 609 million naira to reintegrate them, rehabilitate them, and send them back to society. Between these two people, who actually owns this terrorists? Is it the government that does more, or what Sheguni says? And we have to be specific. APC government. Since they came into power and Gumi, they are working. In fact, we have facts. From the utterances we are saying, the chief of defense staff said they are prodigal products. Live on live television. Then you will see the numbers that are being rehabilitated and we call it radicalization and bring them into the society, wear them clothes, take them out, train them, do clean it. If no matter the clothes, fine clothes to wear, the most important is don't allow that people to see more. You jump into it. These people have not known any other business in their life. So let us radicalism, killing, me. So over like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, said all they've known over their life, they bring them on feet. They are not going to be very another new life. Then you're not going to buy a short bill, Nigeria money, and I clone them. The big parts, people now come to make speeches, go home. Meanwhile, the people they have rendered homeless, the people they've killed, their relatives, are in IDP camp. They squalor. No shelter, no facilities, not even good food in IDP camp. Then they are watching the people that brought them into that pain being celebrated. That's why I said government is involved. If the government is not involved, you don't pamper an enemy. Israeli government did not pamper Hamas after this October 7th strike. So what happened? That's how a responsible government should handle this kind of people that have brought this untold hardship to Nigerians. People are not in their ancestral home. People are not in their businesses any longer. Then you see killing like it's normal. You see, have we forgotten the video of that woman that killed the only son in Jos that day? And then even on the day of the burial, the woman brought the cutlass and placed it in the hand of this man. I mean, what can be so pathetic? So if the government of APC is not complicit with these people, would have been saying that those kind of utterances would have been coming from them. How do the radicalists, people that have been in this business for over the years? And America came, said that strike was the December gift was a strike along their roads. Said it was one of the major routes in this swamp. When they got scattered, which we agreed, one hand made the Nigerian government pay their responsibilities. There's an adage in my place that when you pay without you use hand to pick things. That would have been an opportunity for Nigeria to just quickly act on that period that they got destabilized because they never saw it coming and quickly name these guys, at least to some extent. But we see that immediately after that they got regrouped and went straight to Niger State and Kwara State, did more mayhem in those two states immediately after that strike. And here we are today. That mayhem in Kwara State and Kogi State and Kogi and Niger State has gotten to Oyo State now. Between Oyo and Lagos, where we are talking.
You're forgetting of those states.
Ondo has always been, right from the massacre, church massacre. Ondo has always been. So, how many distance between Oyo and this studio where we are this?
Oh well, Chika, Moba. Now, terrorism thrives where there is funding, and we've seen that the Nigerian market, as it were, has provided ample funding for terrorists using kidnappings and ransom payments and the rest of them. In records from 2024 to 2025, says about 1.66 million dollars was gained by terrorists
terrorists, monies paid from ransom payments, that is. Now, Sheikh Gumi also said that with US involvement, with increased US involvement, this could, let me use my words now, could boil over. But according to him, things will escalate. Now, how do you react to the fact that some of these ransom payments are done by government, especially where children of fathers, those who do not have monies to pay for ransom, the monies are paid by the government, and some communities are taxed, and these monies have gone into funding these terrorist activities. How do you react to that? Yes, picking out the role of Nigerian government in all of this, and how we can ensure that this does not boil over like the likes of Sheikh Gumi has said. Let's start off with your concluding thoughts.
All right, thank you. You know, Sheikh Gumi, I can tell you, later become the presidential candidate of APC in Nigeria. Because the reason will be that, you know, the reason APC will give him be that he has the attention of the Muslim community or the Muslim youth in the north. You see, so Sheikh has a attention of the APC central government. Yes, because I don't know why I've refused to arrest him. I don't know why. If any of us says 1/10 of Sheikh Gumi, of what 1/10 of Sheikh Gumi has said, and what the way we did, I'm not sure we will ever be released from jail. So what Sheikh Gumi is doing, because the leading of the APC government, is a member of APC. No doubt about it. He's a member of APC, and they are listening to him. So it is for a fact that government is exacerbating this thing. Government is the one that is giving bread, you know, to these criminals.
Is it okay to say,
you know?
Is it okay to say that Nigeria is a terrorist nation?
Yes, now, of course, now, yes. Yes.
You can Nigeria.
Nigeria ended this in 2015, and APC has engineered it. APC has increased.
Nigeria is a terrorist nation.
The labeling of Nigeria as a terrorist nation, yes, of course.
It's a terrorist nation.
Nigeria came on board. Yes. Mind you, I was a member of APC and the spokesman of APC in my memory. So what I am telling you is that APC is late. APC is on base with what is happening in Nigeria with regard to insecurity. So it is as simple as that. It is the government that is making these people, you know, that is prospering these people into what they are doing. Because soon
they ask why if this is a terrorist government. If Nigeria is a terrorist government. Nigeria is a terrorist country. Registered and recognized.
To make their pride. You say, so it is government. It is government. Federal government should, I don't know how to advise the APC federal government again, but what I am telling you is that what is happening is the making of the Nigerian government. It's the making of the Nigerian government. Why should we rely on America to come and save us? The same America, have, what to save to us. They have what to save to us and prosper their own economy. You say, why are we waiting for America? And Sheikh Gumi has been attacking America, for intervening in the Nigerian circumstance.
Every Muslim attack them.
Why?
The Alhaji there is attacking him.
What are your thoughts on the R2P responsibility to protect, especially if there's an outcry that a certain set of people are targeted by insurgents, like we have in the case of Nigeria, where Christians are being targeted. And on that basis, American government said, look, let's go in there and protect Christians, those that are being targeted, under the rule of responsibility to protect. How do you react to that?
What I can tell you is that both Christians and Muslims have taken, have got fair share of the insurgency in the north. But sometimes it seems as though they are targeting Christians more, because when Nigerian security strikes them, then
he's not trying to be political.
Extract revenge from the Christian community.
Thank God for social media.
So sometimes
you're trying to be politically correct.
That, Muslims have not benefited or have not been victims of the insecurity in the north. No.
Collateral damage happens, and the collateral damage is affecting Muslims, but the major attack and their target is Christians.
The revenge actions of these terrorists.
They're just trying to be politically correct.
That, Christians are targeted more. So that is just it. That is just it. So my reply here is that both Christians and Muslims are victims. I think Christians are more targeted on different occasions. Maybe exact respect.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Chika Mwaba. Now let's go to our Haji Ahmed. Let's have your thoughts on this.
Thank you so much. My concluding thoughts is very simple. The federal government should honor responsibility to protect lives and property. That is what is one. Because you don't just campaign and say you want to govern a nation, and when you know you don't have the capability. And I believe before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was already know the enormous problem that the country is being faced in security. So 2 years, or 3 years down to this government, by now we're supposed to have seen more positive fights towards in this insurgency. But up to now, we have not seen that. But I know it's doing this, it's trying to test, but like the test is not good enough. We should, put in more effort to ensure that this insecurity.
If it were US now, you will charge.
Do you agree?
Alhaji will charge and charge. When it comes to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you bring down your voice.
Another
idiot.
To help, fighting insurgency in Nigeria. Do you agree?
I 100% agree that
which country want Nigeria to collaborate with? Because
tell us.
And the United States is here. We are also speaking with
which country
to
you want? Tell us.
Insecurity.
I would have loved them to work with Russia instead of Turkey. I would have wanted them to work with Russia so that because is multiplied. China have dominated most of our business climate right now as far as this country is concerned. So China themselves know that they already have some investment as far as this country is concerned. They can also partner with Russia as well for powers. Right now, but I would prefer more of Russia and China rather than Turkey like that.
Russia is fighting a war in Ukraine. How much help can they give?
The war in Ukraine is like a baby war. That one is a baby war.
Look at
that
him.
One is a baby war. Russia is not actually fighting.
Look at him.
That one is not. That one is actually not fighting Ukraine. Russia is fighting NATO.
Look at
It's
him.
fighting the Western world.
Fighting the Western world, and they call it a baby war.
Umbrella of Russia to be fighting. The umbrella of Ukraine.
And they call it a baby war. See how confused this clown is.
Fighting in NATO. But that will not stop Russia to also support Nigeria.
You call it a baby war. He's fighting NATO.
Russia than Turkey or United States. So Russia.
Your hatred will not allow you to know the truth. That's your problem.
China themselves have no investment.
All these people with this Middle East religion, they will never speak the truth.
For me, it's not about
Their anger, their envy and jealousy don't allow them to see the truth.
family values have been thrown to the dogs. Hunger and poverty is staring us in the face. The politicians are just talking about elections. And tomorrow, we will fight ourselves. The people who are at the bottom will fight ourselves because of these politicians who don't care, who don't even value our lives. So for me, I think, and I know for real, that if this government is open and sincere, considering the fact that Americans are here, if they're open and allow them, you will see the result. You can't have been making Russia that is already held down by Ukraine. Turkey we all know that Turkey is a terrorist nation, but I would like it or not. They have been breathing it. They have been breathing it.
Yeah, but they also want Nigeria against Mahmuda and the rest of them.
If they want, but it's one thing to want somebody, but it's another thing to clandestinely support the other people. But the truth of the matter is that where we are today, we need to show the political will. The government needs to show the political will in this state.
All right, let's go. Mr. Edwin.
Where are you talking about the country which you are?
Your concluding thoughts.
For me, we should not even be talking about the Senate because that was one of the suggestions of Gomi. Why not talk instead of America, where Nigeria indicated interest to be of assistance also we can be talking about it. That's why I said APC government knows more with Gomi than here. So if we want to be sincere, why don't we look at the side of the government? Assistance. I know they have so much in their hands, but we should be thinking of how.
And that will give the impression that it's a Christian nation.
Okay. If we are talking about Christian and Muslim war,
that perception.
That perception is here. Look at the number of people that were kidnapped that were abducted in Igbo. Yes, how many of them are Muslim? The Oyo owner that just.
Have you checked there? The names have been released.
The Oyo owner that just happened. How many of them? Whoever wants to, the situation we are now, desire.
Absolutely.
And whatever situation is being
absolutely
all being pronounced by government apologies.
Yeah, waiting, made the no say now Christian.
Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
You see what I'm saying? When I talk about these people, when you see what they're saying, and then you will understand why I have the suspicions I have sometimes. Look at it. From what they say in their studio, it confirmed that Nigeria is not one nation and could not be. Look at the people they brought in their studio to talk. The Muslim guy, the way he speaks, once the issue of America is mentioned, they become uncomfortable. Every Muslim country or Muslim person sees America as a threat. Yes. When they comment on the issue of America, the way they talk is different. And for you to know that Nigeria is not one and can never be one, and God will never forgive British for the problem they created in Nigeria. Look at when they were talking about this, their closing thoughts, and the guy suggested to invite Israel, America, and that guy immediately told him that once if you invite Israel, it will seem as if it is a religious issue. Meanwhile, the people that are mostly affected in all the kidnapping and terrorism are Christians. So you want to step back and say, oh, so they will not say that it's Christians, and because of that, you allow your people to die. Out of sentiment, people are dying every single day. How long will you continue to tolerate that? No sensible country, no reasonable human being will tolerate that and allow that to fester. But in the Zoological Republic, everything is possible. In Zoological Republic, everything is allowed. It is so sad. It is really, really sad. This is the reason I play their programs. Because if you don't listen to their program, you will think that we that come online on social media talk that we are just noisemakers. That is why we need to take you into the program so that you will hear what they say and how they say what they say. Because that will help you to also clear your mind and understand where we are coming from. You won't understand. If you don't listen to their program, you will not understand. You will think that maybe we are just coming here to make noise and make trouble. That is why you created. We play their information from. So when you hear it from their own media, you will see the reason Nigeria is not supposed to live the next second. Nigeria is not supposed to exist the next second. I think the time is up, but I want us to listen to this very one. Let us take the last one. Let us take the last one. Let's take this one and hear what information they have on this studio. Let's see what they have. It is very important. Even though it is late, let's hear.
Lieutenant General Whitey Shaibu disclosed this on Monday while declaring open the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2026 in Abuja. He said the deployment highlights the Nigerian Army's commitment to strengthening intelligence sharing, strategic partnerships, and coordinated security mechanisms designed to deny criminal and terrorist groups freedom of action in Nigeria and neighboring countries. According to him, the troop deployment to Benin Republic reflects Nigeria's resolve to reinforce regional security architecture and enhance collective responses to emerging threats in the sub-region. Shaibu stressed that commanders must remain adaptive, mission-focused, and fully committed to interagency and multinational cooperation in ongoing and future operations. The Chief of Army Staff noted that the Army has continued to prioritize equipment modernization, infrastructure expansion, and combat support services to boost operational efficiency and troop welfare. He explained that the induction of modern platforms, refurbishment of aging equipment, improved maintenance practices, and indigenous repair initiatives have significantly enhanced troops' mobility, firepower, surveillance capabilities, and operational sustainability. A very tragic development. One person has been confirmed dead while two others were injured and are currently receiving treatment after a late night attack in Maru, local government area of Zamfara state. The development was contained in a post on X shared by security analyst Tagazola Makama on Monday night. According to the post, security sources said the incident happened around 11:15 p.m. on May 17 when troops stationed at the forward operating base in Bigi received a distress call about an attack on Damjuku village. Efforts are ongoing to restore calm in the area. Security patrols have intensified in nearby communities to prevent further attacks and track down those responsible. Now, residents of Yawata community in the Orire local government area of Oyo State have fled their homes following fears of another attack by bandits after the recent abduction of pupils and teachers in the area. The development comes days after gunmen invaded Yawata Baptist Nursery and Primary School and Community High School on May 15, abducting several pupils, students, and school officials. The attack triggered panic across nearby communities, forcing many residents to reportedly relocate to safer areas. Other fears that the government could strike again. Residents who spoke on the latest development said movement out of Yawata community increased after rumors spread that the attackers might return to the area. The fear of another invasion has reportedly disrupted normal activities in the community as residents abandon homes and businesses in search of safer locations. Community members have appealed to security agencies and the Oyo State government to deploy more security personnel to the affected communities to prevent further attacks and reassure residents. The incident has further heightened concerns about worsening security and attacks on schools and rural communities across parts of the country. Down to political matters, the Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC has closed the sale of expression of interest and nomination forms for its 2027 presidential ticket amid indications that only the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Mr. Peter Obi bought the forms. The party has, however, extended the deadline for the collection of expression of interest forms for other elective positions, including governorship, Senate, House of Representatives, and the State House of Assembly seats by 1 week. Sources within the party disclosed yesterday As at the close of sale of presidential forms, Obi was the only aspirant who purchased the forms. According to the timetable released by the party, the screening of aspirants who had purchased and completed the forms will commence on Tuesday, May 19 and end on Tuesday, May 26. The party also disclosed that collection and return of nomination forms for screened and cleared aspirants will begin on May 20 and end on May 26. The NDC warns that no further extension will be granted beyond the new deadline and urge aspirants to strictly comply with the guidelines and timelines. Meanwhile, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso says he is confident of securing the party's vice presidential slot, which would eventually open the door for Kanu states to produce the president. The former Kanu governor spoke over the weekend during a radio interview. Kwankwaso and Peter B defected from the African Democratic Congress ADC to the NDC earlier this month. Sources report that Obi and Kwankwaso joined the NDC on the condition that they would contest the 2027 presidential election on a joint ticket with the former Anambra governor as presidential candidate and former defense minister as his running mate. Now, former Minister of Transportation Chibuike Rotimi Amechi has dismissed the presidential prospects of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, declaring him unfit to win a general election. Amechi also firmly stated his resolve to remain in the presidential race, vowing that he will not step down for any candidate ahead of the party primaries. Amechi also firmly stated during a Monitor television interview analyzed the political track record of the former PDP candidate. Amechi pointed out that while Atiku has a history of securing party tickets, he consistently fails to replicate that success at the national polls. He argued that winning internal party primaries means nothing if a candidate lacks the appeal to secure a victory in the main election. Amechi specifically highlighted Atiku's decades-long pursuit of the presidency to back his claims about the former vice president's political limitations. The presidential hopeful further explained that the narrative surrounding Atiku's undefeated streak in primary elections is irrelevant to the current political realities facing the country. Let's now take a listen to Rotimi Amechi speaking on Atiku's presidential ambition.
Choice to contest. You see, okay, so I listened when they said the former vice president said he never failed the primary before. I hope this will be the first time you fail primary. But that's not the issue that at all times that you have passed primary, you have not won the election. So it's about electability. It's not the number of times. No. Can I win this election if you put me before the country? This against him. Will he be able to win the election? And the answer I get is that he will not be able to win the election if he is put forward. Why? Atiku, yes. And where did he go from there? Because I thought I just did it before I lost. That's elementary analysis. Okay, so what will he be able to tell?
You are still listening to the news at 12 right here, Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're now going to the news analysis segment where I've been joined by Mr. Elvis and Libihele. He's a political affairs analyst and he'll be giving us his own perspectives on the issues in the news this afternoon. Always a pleasure to have you here. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, John.
How are you doing today? Very well, thank you. Let's actually begin with the unfortunate scenes we've been seeing in our country for a few years now. Very, very, very unfortunate. You must have heard the report of the secondary school maths teacher who was unfortunately abducted from school in Oyo State and was yesterday headed by these terrorists that, sometimes government still insists on calling bandits. But we know that these are terrorists by the way that they operate. They are out for blood and they're trying to show that they are really serious. The United States Senator is accusing the federal government of ignoring the atrocities that are being committed by people they term as Islamic extremists. They say that instead the government is enforcing blasphemy laws and they are not taking decisive action against these atrocities. While we're talking about this, we're also getting reports that the federal government has deployed troops to Benin Republic to combat terrorism. Meanwhile, we are seeing our gallant soldiers dying at the theater of war. We are seeing them going over IEDs and being blasted to smithereens. And we're deploying soldiers. Is that a little tone deaf for this administration?
Choma, what can we not see in APC government? There's nothing we cannot see in APC government. It's so sad. My heart goes out to the family of the head teacher because he has not committed any crime. He came out to, seek for survival, and look at where he landed. He's a teacher, a man that devoted his life to, give future to other children, and that is how he ended. Very sad, but unfortunately, what can we say? In this part of the world, we say Nigeria happened to him. That's exactly what we saw. You see, sometimes, like Ketutu said, it's not far from the truth. We celebrate those things that are not normal in this part of the world, especially in this nation. Look at these same people, these terrorists, who have, held this nation down to this extent, brought so much untold hardship and agony to families. Choma, you will agree with me, those are the ones Nigerians are celebrating at the detriment of those that are in IDP who are victims and the families that lost their loved ones. They now came up with a system, a policy they call
Radicalization.
I'm surprised
And
and integration. I'm surprised to hear that kind of language. Somebody else has sold that one to the government because it's an avenue for him to make money, at the expense of those that are in IDP camp and the agonizing families, and the government bought the idea. So you are celebrating people who have, held arms to bring this kind of agony and trauma. Then that is where Nigerians are now spending money on buy Ashoibi for them, take them for trip, bring them and gather people to come and make speech. At the end of the day, the only business these people know is how to kill, maim, and bring soul. After a while, they don't have anything to do, they go back to where they came from. The whole money and all that we used go into down the drain. And it's not even them going back, they now begin to leak information, vital information to their kids and kin in the bush, whom they have always lived together for so many years. So when you see Nigeria government, chasing shadow, it's so sad. So sad to the extent that it's even American for some time now, American legislators are the one that reminding the government of this nation some of the areas they not fare well against their citizens. I mean, sometimes we say, do we really have a country? Then to crown it all now, we're hearing now that Nigerian soldiers are referring to the Republic government to go and help them to fight insecurity over there, terrorism. When our own home is burning, nobody is talking about it. We are playing down it daily. Then we now see another person's life, that is not even as worse as our own, that we are now saying, okay, I want to come and assist. This is where we have always been missing it. Look at what happened to happening to Nigerians in South Africa now. This is how we carry South Africa matter on our heads some years back in the 70s. Today, South Africans are, brazenly telling Nigerians now leave our country, killing Nigerians, destroying their business, and maybe turning Nigerians into destitute because they came to, sort out living in their own country. Because we have failed in our responsibility as a country to take care of our citizens. So everywhere we go, Nigerians are now being treated like destitute. It's so painful. By this time tomorrow, you also hear that the same Republic of Benin will carry Nigerians leave this country. This is not your country. You brought crime, you brought prostitution and all of that. You've forgotten that these are things that are also prevalent in their own country. But it is the Nigeria soul that is celebrated. But our home has sold us out. We pray that our homes will not sell us. Because once you are sold up by your home, you can never find solution to the problem. Nigerians have not recognized their citizens. Nigerians, that is why death is really less here. Talking about children that went to school and they are in the bush with terrorists. Teachers are head in the bush that want to teach future leaders and even being killed. When it started in 2013, we have the Buniyadi government technical college. Boys were slaughtered in the hostel at night in Yobe State. Thereafter, we had the Chibok Girls. Then we now had the Leah Sharibu School, Leah Sharibu School, where she's the head today. Then deep down to where we now had the university in Kaduna, where they went. Then we had the Baptist school also in Kaduna. What have we not seen? There's this forestry school, the School of Agriculture and Forestry in Kaduna. All these are where Nigerian students are that are going to give Nigeria future hope and future leadership. These are students that are sent to school. Now it has moved from the southeast, northeast, to the northwest, now to the north central. It has now moved into southwest. So if we were thinking, playing the ostrich over these years that it's a problem of the north, now it's already it's already on our own lap now. We are not talking about what we are talking about now. It is sad. So it's sad that in all this, the best that we can hear from APC government is those senators that will not go back and those that will go back to the Senate. Those governors that will not go back and those governors that will remain. Talking about primaries and politicizing everything.
It's very
when Nigerians are
very, very unfortunate because this is when you look at it, this is a fight against education. You have many parents now saying, I don't want to send my children to school, even though they know that keeping the kids at home is not a guarantee of their safety. But they don't want to hear that their kids go to school and then they are kidnapped. You have parents now who are regretting that they woke their children up that morning to go to school. Anyone who did not go to school on that day might say, oh, thank God I did not take my kids to school on that particular day. One thing that many Nigerians are concerned about is how will we take it serious on the international stage. And then there's also this concern that it was not this bad during Jonathan's time. And then we saw the Occupy Nigerian protests, we saw the no to subsidy protests because of what happened to the Chibok girls kidnapping and how even the current administration president right now was not that people who hit the street. They were carrying coffins of Jonathan, people were naming their dogs and their pets after him. Is it that now Nigerians are so desensitized to bad news and that's why they cannot advise as they did as at then? Or is it possible that because the people who were the ones protesting then are the ones who are now in power, that's why people can no longer talk?
Choma, it is so sad that it is not that Nigeria cannot protest, but you also agree with me, Choma, that since APC came in, more laws have been enacted by APC against protests, against anybody that is seeking his rights. Even this talk we are talking in the studio, they know there is what they call cyber crime, bullying and all others now that you cannot talk as you are expected to talk. But Jonathan allowed a fair play. The present president today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in 2014, when the Chibok case matter happened, he asked Jonathan to resign if he cannot safeguard the life of Nigerians. Today, he is sitting there as the president, and he has forgotten now that the first constitutional requirement for him as his president is to secure the life of Nigerians. But he's not saying it as anything any longer. You see, talk is cheap. I still thank God that Chief Bisi Akonde, the former governor of Osun State, is still alive. This was somebody who was calling Jonathan's government kindergarten government. They tell former President Jonathan's government as clueless government. Today, all these foul languages they use for Jonathan are much more prevalent in their government now, but they are not seeing it at reality. They are not coming to tell us that, the president is doing well, is working on it. When even at this time, other foreign countries are not the one reminding us what is happening in our own topic. The president has not shown empathy. He went to Jos after the killing in Jos, and he could not even get to meet the parents or the people that lost their children. You now have to ferry them to the airport as if he went for a Thanksgiving visit. But remember that when we are talking of condolence, you visit the person that is bereaved. That's why the register is always opened at the venue at the home of the bereaved family. You go there, you sign the condolence register. That is why it's different from Thanksgiving. In Thanksgiving, you can fix your venue anywhere. People will come and meet you and celebrate it. So the president thought that the people in Jos were celebrating. That's why they have to be ferried down to the airport to come and celebrate with him, even when they were in Agodi. It's so sad that we don't have the empathy. The government don't have empathy towards Nigerians. That's what you are saying. Or your state now, over the weekend when they were joking around their primaries, Nigerians are languishing in terrorist camp all over this nation. It has gotten to Oyo. How many kilometers is Oyo to Lagos? Where even those of us that are in Lagos, our life is also being threatened. This rain, Choma, when it rains, it beats every roof falls on every roof. So anybody that is sitting here somewhere now thinking that, oh, it's not happening to me, it's only happening in specific part of Nigeria, it will get there. Lai Mohammed, who told Nigerians during when he was Minister for Information during late President Buhari's regime that, oh, the Boko Haram have been decimated. Lai Mohammed, we should begin to ask him now what is happening in the state of Kwara. What is happening in Kwara? And he said, Boko Haram that he said Muhammadu Buhari's government had decimated. So I think sometimes you look at what is happening, you begin to see that God is actually telling these people the law of karma. You see them at the appropriate time, and that's what we are seeing.
Honestly, very unfortunate. We saw the United States collaborating with the Nigerian government to actually strike certain terrorist information. That was a few days ago. They said they killed the second in command of ISIS globally, which happened to be a Nigerian in Nigeria,
Yes.
Somebody who has been in that forest operating his evil base and his evil network right from that forest. How come the Nigerian intelligence and the Nigerian army were unable to get him before the US came into the picture? And now, would this make us look serious in front of the US? Because they say, we're trying to help you fight the problem that you cannot fight in your country. And the men you're supposed to have on ground, just sending them to another country.
That's why I keep saying that the sincerity in fighting this terrorism in Nigeria is not in Nigeria's government. Nigeria's government knows exactly where this problem is, and they are not ready to tackle it. Even when the American soldiers were coming in, I was saying that until we embrace this, they are coming with sincerity, they might not achieve any results. And that's what you're saying. They'll be here now, but thank God that this second in command of ISIS has been eliminated. But that same person has been in Nigeria, that has been in Nigeria for so long. Remember the number of years now we'll be talking about Bello Tuniji. That one is also there. And these people do live video and send to social media. The same social media that we have been told that, oh, it's being monitored by Nigeria security agencies. That you and I, if you buy a SIM card today, you have to register it before that SIM card
We've even seen incidents where there was a report of a young lady who was arrested for buying a SIM card that somebody had reported
use for kidnapping. Yes.
Ransom.
Yes.
So we're always told that the Nigerian police can work if they want to work. You also have some security analysts who will tell you that the Nigerian police should have been able to quash this before now. So where did the willingness go?
The willingness is not there because the support of the government is completely zero. Choma, here some years back, during the so-called celebrated general, when he was coming in 2015, Buhari was saying that General Buhari crushed this insurgency, to crush this terrorism because he is a retired soldier. We saw that he became worse under his regime. Brigadier General Deni was a theater commander in that same northeast, and he told the president, come, give me ammunition and weapons to fight these people. What did they say? They said, he was speaking as if he's inciting the military against the government. He was court-martialed because he spoke out the truth. If you see all this, you will not know that there is no sincerity in this government assisting to fight this crime and criminality that we find ourselves. This person that is the vice president of this nation today was the governor of Borno State, as at this time I'm talking about during the time of Buhari's administration. There was a time he protested to Aso Rock to go and tell Buhari, the president, then what is going through in the state. That Nigerian armed forces are not sophisticatedly armed as to the extent of the fighting this insurgency. That the terrorists are much more armed than them, well equipped than them. We saw that protest. The video is still there. He went to Aso Rock. Today, he's second in command. He has suddenly gone silent about this terrorism plaguing this nation. This is where I keep telling you, insincerity is far on this matter. Sincerity is far on this matter from the side of government. The government knows where this crime and criminality originate from. If they sincerely want to fight it, German, they know what to do. Because the Nigerian police that can trace a SIM card to a Nigerian that is just doing his business and bought a SIM card and never knew it was used before by somebody else. The same Nigerian police today see videos of these terrorists posted on social media, they cannot trace them. One, they will tell you they don't have the means. What is the means? Trackers, they don't have. The Nigerian government cannot afford it. The Nigerian government can confidently afford it, but They will not buy for them because they know too well that the origin of this crime is more of economic matter than fighting the crime itself. People who are benefiting from it will not allow it to end. As we talk, people are mining illegally. As we speak here, Choma, people supply logistics, everything to these guys in the bush. They don't come out to go to the market by themselves to go and buy even petrol that they use for their motorcycles. Even this one that happened in Oyo State, we told that they ride the road motorcycles into the town when they came to kidnap. They have fuel that motorcycles. Those motorcycles sometimes spoil. They are repaired. People bought them and ferry them into the bush for them to use. Where is Nigeria custom? Where is Nigeria immigration in all this? So in all, it's a total package that the government is paying lip service to these insurgents. They just turn on their eyes and that we are fighting it. They are not fighting it. Beneficiaries of this crime are more in this government than Nigerians are saying.
And it's truly unfortunate, but we need a resolution to this problem very soon.
The resolution is not more than, Nigerians coming out, because I expected that since this one happened, like the teachers and the students protested yesterday. This kind of protest is not a one-off thing. It's supposed to be something that occupy. We've said something about occupying Nigeria some time ago during the Jonathan's administration. Why have we suddenly stopped that? Today we should have been talking of occupying the National Assembly and occupying the Aso Rock, so that Nigeria, the government, those that are paying lip service to this matter and turning off their faces against it, we know that it is happening live. We have left the northeast, we have left the northwest, we have left the north central, we are not talking of southwest. This thing is, they are rolling up this man. It's coming gradually. Not until Nigerians, do what is expected of them and allow the government, tell the government that this shoe we are wearing is pitching on. This one is not about cost of fuel now. Oh, we cannot buy fuel, we cannot feed. We are talking about debt. And this debt is there anybody that will be happy that the child you send to school, that you are looking for the child's future, that at least when I get to a certain age, this child will now be my own support. And 2 years. Yes, nursery and primary, going to pick children. And the government is sitting telling us lies every day.
We have the 416 from
yes, and even as this one is happening, you see the 17 policemen that were killed over the weekend too in their training school in Yobe. I saw another one again this morning in Sokoto, ambush 7 soldiers. So put all these dead together and actually reason that if this government is actually sincere to fighting this insurgency and this terrorism, by now we will be getting results.
We need to get these results. Let's talk about politics. Peter Obi has reportedly emerged as NDC's sole presidential aspirant. One Kwangoso is saying that he's very sure of getting the vice presidential ticket. When they joined the NDC, we heard that it was on the condition that they would be the ones to contest the 2027 presidential elections on a joint ticket. Even if it's going well for them so far. When the NDC is selling their forms and only one person bought the presidential form, you say there's already an agreement that this is what is going to be. There is no need for competition, because that's not what is happening.
We are going to stop the program here. We have taken enough from them and their politics. Once they enter the politics, we are not part of their political madness. So we end it here. I thank you all for watching. Thank you for those who have been participating all this while. See you tomorrow morning for another section. Join us tomorrow morning as we continue to disseminate information and updates. Thank you and good night, everybody. Good night.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, Ideal heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see a nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh, yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of our heroes' blood. Abaganazo wave was stronger than flood, but the joke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my veins. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is the nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.